Before the fame, before the belts, before Big Drama Show became a global meme, there was a quiet man from Kazakhstan who trained like a soldier and fought like a machine. Gennady Golovkin was never loud. He was never flashy. He never chased attention. He didn't need to, because every punch he threw spoke louder than words. While other fighters promoted themselves with cameras and quotes, Golovkin disappeared into work. No entourage, no excuses, no shortcuts, just repetition, just pressure, just discipline. And that silence created one of the most feared middleweights of the modern era. His jab wasn't a setup, it was a weapon. His smile wasn't friendliness, it was control. And behind that calm expression was a man shaped by hardship, structure, and an unbreakable work ethic. Gennady Golovkin was born on April 8, 1982 in Karaganda, Kazakhstan, an industrial mining city forged by cold weather, hard labor, and Soviet discipline. His father was a Russian coal miner. His mother, of Korean descent, worked as a lab assistant in a chemical factory. Life there wasn't romantic. It was survival. Golovkin grew up in a neighborhood called Maikuduk, widely known as the roughest part of the city. Violence wasn't abstract, it was daily. You learned quickly how to defend yourself or you paid for it. He had two older brothers, Vadim and Sergei, twins who were far bigger and tougher than him. They believed in one thing, strength through pressure. When Gennady was just 8 years old, they began throwing him into street fights with boys years older and heavier. There was no mercy and no praise, only lessons. Run, and you were weak. Stand, and you learned. At age 10, Golovkin walked into his first boxing gym. His coach, Viktor Dmitriev, saw raw power immediately. 1 month later, Golovkin fought his first organized bout and lost. But even in defeat, his coach noticed something rare. His punches carried unnatural force, not wild strength, controlled weight transfer, balance. By 11, Golovkin won the regional youth championship in Karaganda. Then tragedy hit. Both of his brothers joined the military. Neither came home. Sergei was killed in 1994. Vadim died shortly after. Those losses changed everything. Golovkin never spoke publicly about them in detail, but people close to him noticed the shift. He trained harder, quieter, more focused. Every punch carried memory. Every round carried purpose. It took 7 years before he was accepted onto Kazakhstan's national boxing team. When he finally broke through, he dominated. By the time his amateur career ended in 2005, Golovkin had amassed an astonishing record, 345 wins and only 5 losses. He won gold at the 2003 World Amateur Championships in Bangkok. He won silver at the 2004 Athens Olympics, losing a close decision to Gaidabekov. In 2006, at age 24, Golovkin turned professional in Germany. The early years were quiet, no hype, no spotlight, just steady destruction. By the end of 2008, he was 14-0 with 11 knockouts. Then came the decision that changed everything. In 2010, Golovkin relocated to Big Bear Lake, California to train with Abel Sanchez. Big Bear sits nearly 7,000 feet above sea level in the San Bernardino Mountains. Cold, remote, silent, the air is thin, the roads are long, the distractions are gone. It's a place fighters go to disappear. Golovkin arrived unknown to American audiences. A decorated amateur, a WBA interim champion, but not a star. When Golovkin and Sanchez first met, they barely spoke the same language. Their communication came through gloves, pads, and movement. Sanchez later said that the moment Golovkin hit the mitts, he felt something different. The power wasn't forced, it was natural. 2 months later, Golovkin came back and stayed. By 2013, he was living at the Summit Gym nearly year-round. 10 months out of the year, away from his wife and son. No restaurants, no nightlife, no comfort, just boxing. Golovkin explained it simply. A private gym allows full focus, no distractions, no wasted energy. The altitude became part of the weapon. Training at nearly 7,000 feet forces the body to adapt. Oxygen is scarce, the heart works harder, red blood cell production increases, endurance sharpens. But for Golovkin, it wasn't just physical. It was mental. Big Bear reminded him of his Soviet upbringing, isolation, structure, purpose. His daily routine was brutal and consistent. He woke up around 5 a.m. By 6, he was already running. Long mountain runs, often 60 to 90 minutes, uphill, downhill, no shortcuts. After breakfast came strength and conditioning. Afternoons were reserved for technical work. Bags, pads, ring movement, controlled sparring. Everything had one purpose: efficient, repeatable knockout power. Abel Sanchez said they didn't train for flash. They trained for controlled destruction. Even without a fight scheduled, Golovkin stayed in camp shape. Promoter Tom Loeffler once said he'd never seen a fighter stay in camp without an upcoming bout. Golovkin didn't see it as special. To him, that was discipline. His conditioning system reflected that mindset. Cardio came first. Long hill runs around Big Bear Lake built stamina and leg drive under fatigue. Jump rope sessions refined timing and foot coordination. Flexibility was daily. Dynamic warm-ups, mobility work, stretching. No stiffness allowed. Resistance bands played a key role. Shadowboxing with bands built rotational strength and full-range power without tension. The goal wasn't bulk, it was efficiency. Core training was the engine. Hundreds of sit-ups, hanging leg raises, weighted twists, planks. The core controlled balance, defense, and torque. Upper body endurance followed. Long sets of push-ups, light dumbbell shadowboxing using 2 to 5 pound weights. Not to look strong, but to maintain snap deep into fights. Neck training finished the system. Bridging, isometric holds, weighted harness work. Golovkin conditioned his neck to absorb impact and maintain posture. It's one of the reasons he was never knocked down as a professional. Technically, Golovkin's training was built on efficiency and pressure. Abel Sanchez limited hard sparring to preserve longevity. Sparring sessions were controlled, strategic, and purposeful. Typically 3 times per week, around 60 to 75 rounds per camp. Sparring partners were selected to mimic upcoming opponents, southpaws, pressure fighters, counterpunchers. On non-sparring days, Golovkin focused on bag work and pads. The heavy bag reinforced precision. His jab became elite because of repetition. It wasn't a rangefinder, it was a weapon to break rhythm and control space. Pad work refined balance and weight transfer. Power came from mechanics, not muscle. Every punch flowed from a stable base. The double-end bag sharpened timing and patience. He learned to strike between movements instead of chasing them. Shadowboxing tied everything together, often multiple rounds, sometimes with weights, sometimes without. Focused on breathing, posture, and flow. Defensively, Golovkin relied on a high guard and compact movement. His defense wasn't designed to avoid everything. It was designed to absorb safely and counter immediately. Systematic pressure. No rush, no panic, no wasted movement. Nutrition and recovery followed the same philosophy. Simple, practical, consistent. Golovkin stayed near his fight weight year-round. No extreme cuts, no crash dieting. He ate whole foods: steak, eggs, rice, potatoes, vegetables, soups. At Big Bear, he often ate grilled meats at local spots. No soda, no processed junk, minimal supplements. Fuel the work, don't complicate it. Recovery was built into the environment. Sleep, routine, silence, no distractions. But the foundation of everything was mindset. Sanchez kept a whiteboard listing boxing's greats. Muhammad Ali at number 1, number 2 left blank. Golovkin trained like that spot was earned daily. Even in controversial fights, even under pressure, he stayed composed. For him, greatness wasn't a moment. It was a habit. What made Golovkin's training special wasn't secrets or tricks. It was waking up at 5 in the mountains and running when no one was watching. Training without a fight scheduled. Limiting sparring to protect longevity. Using bands, body weight, and light resistance instead of ego lifting. Eating simply, recovering quietly, living with discipline. It was a mindset forged in Karaganda, hardened by loss and sharpened by structure. Golovkin's methods were fundamental, but his consistency was rare. That consistency produced a middleweight with an 88% knockout ratio, 20 consecutive title defenses, nearly 400 fights across amateur and professional careers. Never knocked down. This is how Gennady Golovkin really trained. Not with shortcuts, not with hype, but with discipline, intelligence, and belief in the unseen work. Because the work you do when no one is watching determines who you become when everyone is. Whether you're a fighter, an athlete, or just someone trying to improve, the lesson is the same. Excellence isn't an event. It's a habit. And habits, executed daily, build legends.